I love you, but you gotta let me talk.
Highest level military intelligence. Tell me more about it.
Or are you waiting for your turn to speak, sir? Are you listening?
No, tell me about the highest level military intelligence.
You keep interrupting me.
Because you're lying. You're full of shit. I will not suffer your Q people after this. Because you're lying. You're full of shit. All of it, dude. And I'm sick of it. I'm not knocking people that are into Q. I'm just telling you. Oh, he's part of a larger thing of Q. Is he Q? I understand magical powers. I'm asking you with your wizard powers. Oh no, from some small part of the larger Q, you don't know, Burris. We're now learning the secret of Q power. He is a Q priest, is a religion. Q told us that Hillary was in a prison. He's a well-meaning person, but he's a lightweight. Jake the Barbarian, I guess, was his earlier incantation or incarnation. We have Q on the line. Q shaman. Listen, you're a Q wizard, a Q shaman. You are a shamanic wizard. We get that. A Q shaman. Go ahead, Q shaman.
You keep interrupting me.
Because you're lying. You're full of shit. I will not suffer your Q people after this. Because you're lying. You're full of shit. All of it, dude. And I'm sick of it. Q is like people that look at clouds. One sees a giraffe, one sees an elephant. Highest level military intelligence. The almighty Q Lord, and you are his priest. I don't know if he's for real or whether he's higher than a kite. And it's always, oh, there's energy. So you got a bunch of Q-tards into the Capitol. Oh. Q told us that Trump was invincible. You said he was the Messiah. Trump's a regular guy. He's not Jesus Christ. They'll never, when they're wrong, say they're wrong. We have Q on the line. Q shaman. Listen, you're a Q wizard. A Q shaman. You are a shamanic wizard. We get that. A Q shaman. Really? No, you're full of crap.
You keep interrupting me.
Because you're lying. You're full of shit. I will not suffer your Q people after this. Because you're lying. You're full of shit. All of it, dude. And I'm sick of it.
What the fuck, bro?
Hello everyone, good morning. Oh, my camera levels got all fucked up. Let me fix that real quick. How's everyone doing? It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday where I am. Hope it's going well for you guys at least, or at the very least, wherever you are, you're safe. Or if you aren't, you're not using electricity, watch this, because I ain't that great. There we go. All right. So let's see. Yep, it's all good. Okay. How's everybody doing? Swap over here. I was very, very prepared for this, as you can see. All right, there we go. So, we're going to start this off with something a bit light. Honestly, I haven't seen, like, SJW content or anti-SJ content in a hot minute. I mean, like, I've obviously covered people like Sargon of Akkad, and I mean, I guess technically the Quartering, if you want to count that, but like, the Quartering just reads news articles. I barely even count that as content. Like, me reacting to his stuff is barely content. But like, as far as actual YouTube videos have gone, it's kind of all swapped over to the to more of a further right-wing side, where it's gone to just strictly anti-feminism or going like hard against BLM, that kind of stuff, instead of what they call now the SJW culture. I guess it's probably swapped over to woke scolds at this point. So I figured we should go ahead and see if these dudes are doing very well. And I mean, honestly, couldn't find too many. The only one I could find is Easy Swish Sniper. So if anybody out there knows of any like solid SJ or anti-SJW channels to like, well, I mean, solid's relative, solid to react to, let me know, because I would definitely like to check that out. Let's see here. Let me just get this recording set up and we will go. Sorry, I was trying to make sure everything is showing up live on both my streams. Set up and we will go. Nope, I do not need my fucking sound. There we go. All right. Believe it or not, the year is 2021, and there are still people making anti-SJW content. And I don't even mean just like the, you know, the progression that we've seen to the Sargon of Akkads and stuff today, where you are making political content that's just all very, very right-wing. I mean, we saw a lot of anti-SJWs turn into Trump supporters over the years. So, I mean, it was pretty much a clear line. Like, it started off into skeptic communities, then anti-SJW, then into right-wing shit. But what's been left behind is that anti-SJW community was the kind of start of the pipeline that a lot of people got into the right-wing shit from. Now, I had thought that outside of people like the Quartering and, I don't know, Thunderfoot and a few people like that who still make Anita Sarkeesian and like whatever random anti-feminist video they can rant about. I mean, God, they've been talking about Anita Sarkeesian for like almost a decade at this point. But it turns out that there still is a less sizable than before, but sizable chunk of people. I mean, the guy we're about to look at has 300,000 subscribers that just do strictly anti-SJW content. So we're going to go ahead and check it out and get ourselves a window back to 2012. Before we get too far into it, if you get to the end of the video and you enjoyed the content, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel grow, and I appreciate it a ton. And with the shilling out of the way, let's go ahead and check this out here. And, all right.
What's up, everyone? So I might have to turn this into a little series because there's just no way I can cover all of what we're about to see in just one video. I'm going to think about it. Now, I'm pretty much out of the...
Sorry, title of the video is Pathetic Women Try Roasting Men on Twitter and End Up Failing Miserably. So this is the pandemic, or I guess I probably shouldn't say pandemic while we're in the middle of a real one. This is the epidemic that this guy's talking about, that he's worried about. Just, the women are just so mean.
loop when it comes to internet related stuff. I think I've mentioned this before, but I don't keep up with anything these days. I don't know, man. Social media definitely used to be a lot more pure and fun like 9 to 10 years ago. Am I the only one that feels this way? Like, I miss the OG Instagram where people actually posted things that weren't just posts seeking validation. You know, Twitter was a place where
hold on. Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, all these places have always been cesspools. Like, don't get that twisted. Literally all that's happened is that as more and more people got onto them, it became more prominent. There were more people that you didn't like that were saying shit that you didn't like all the time. And combine that in with them now making their own communities where that's all they hear and that's all they're posting constantly, you get a more voracious version of that as well. Like, this is the same thing as people going like, man, you remember the old Wild West internet days when you just had to know the URL, man. There was no search engine. It was dope. Or people like, you move it forward a little bit. Man, you remember the great days back when 4chan first started and, oh god, not Kiwi Farms. Wow, why can't I remember? I was one of the scumbags that was on that forum for a few years too. Something awful. There we go. You're like, in the days of like something awful, man. Like, you're not actually hearkening back to anything that's real there. You're just remembering what you liked from that forum or what interactions you liked from, in this case, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and have now just went, well, I need to get back to the old days, man. And for someone who's in their 20s, like, or I'm going to assume probably like early 20s for this dude, the old days, man, it's like fucking Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
People just had fun tweeting dumb things, but these days social media has become a toxic wasteland. You know, people are trying to scope out the next person to cancel, people crying about the dumbest things. Like, can we all just relax and use social media for what it was meant for? Now, before any woman freaks out and says, but men do the same thing, how about you guys take care of all the toxic men and I'll take care of the toxic women? Does that make sense?
Wait. You're making a video right now specifically complaining about women. I'm going to assume, we'll see the, like, random clips or whatever he puts up. But, like, you're making a video complaining about women that are likely going to be talking about toxic men. Like, so you obviously don't actually want that.
Meet in the middle. Let's just team up real quick. I'll be LeBron James and you guys can be, I don't know, Jared Dudley or Kyle Kuzma. But anyways, I came across some of these posts and I was completely blinded by what I saw. It felt like I got struck by a lightning bolt because I was truly shocked. Let's just dive head first into the delusion.
I was truly shocked. Okay. I should probably stop making assumptions. But I'm willing to bet these are all going to be things that he had to go dig and find for. Like, I'd be truly shocked if he has a bunch of posts from things that are from, like, this year. I'm willing to bet it's going to be things that he dug and cherry picked to try to obviously make his point, because that's what you do in a video. But don't act like you were shocked when you found the shit. You went looking for it.
2 hours after a breakup, females be having 3 jobs, a business, a scholarship to Harvard, and a down payment on a house. Now, this doesn't make any fucking sense because they're acting like men are some kind of burden to women. Like, we're some...
Okay, so the exaggeration joke doesn't make sense, eh? I wonder why, that if you take the terms literally and apply them to the world, it doesn't make sense when someone's making a joke. How curious. Like, the problem with the whole skeptic community that I always had, even when I still will go through, like, old atheist Bible study videos and stuff like that. But, like, the problem I've always had is that they do these weird arguments where it's like, yes, let's apply this in this specific way. so I can make an emotional argument about how that just doesn't make sense. The silly SJWs need to live in the real world. It's always been such ridiculous, like, emotional-based bullshit argumentation that will then, at the very best, and it worked a lot better when they were talking about religion too, because at the very best they'll go and go, well, this is a logical fallacy, and then never say anything past that, just saying that a logical fallacy existing in an argument or in a sentence sometimes will negate an entirety of what somebody had said. Like, works a lot better for a religion because the Bible is filled with them. It doesn't work too well when you're actually trying to engage with, like, concepts, though.
Kind of ankle weight that slows them down. Women are apparently not able to achieve their goals if they're in a relationship with a guy. Actually, I know plenty of women who are in relationships that have accomplished some great things. So maybe you're just stupid
No
and
shit.
you're blaming.
Did you just well, actually, I personally know women who are in a relationship and have accomplished things. So clearly, what you have presupposed is Jesus Christ, dude. Yes, obviously, there are women who are in relationships who are also successful, and there are women who are in relationships who aren't. And you can do this and go back and forth with all of it. This isn't an actual, like, argument at all, though. Literally all you're doing is going, well, I know a woman who is in a relationship and successful, so clearly your joke must be based upon a false premise. You silly feminist.
All your failures on guys because you're trying to cope with the fact that A, you were foolish enough to get into a relationship you weren't ready for, which by the way was your choice, and B, that you suck balls at managing your time between focusing on achieving your own personal goals and having a healthy relationship with your boyfriend. And also, aren't women the ones that sit and eat ice cream and cookie dough and watch sad movies to get over their ex? Aren't they the ones that have the post-breakup Spotify playlist and cry themselves to sleep thinking about their breakup?
Yo, you know this dude's entire channel is like spun off of some girl that rejected him in high school. Like, come on, dude. For sure. Your entire fucking getting into this whole anti-SJW thing and fucking making your channel dedicated to this. I mean, we'll go through some of this dude's videos just so you can see just the general content this guy makes right after this. Like, he absolutely made this channel as a response to women being mean to him in high school.
All in all, shameful and inaccurate tweet. So let's move on to the next abomination. I hope you guys are ready for this one. Y'all talking about my man needs to be a little bit ugly, and I truly cannot relate. Most men have very little to offer, so the least they can do is be easy on the eyes and have some money. This post got 17,000 likes, so this woman claims that most men have very little to offer. So let's do a little bit of math. Let's say You're
not going to sit here and be like, well, here's what the human population is, and this is the percentage of men that exist. So, ergo, ipso facto, there cannot be this many men who are not contributing to society, or society would not stand. Like, come on, bro. You cannot be taking someone saying most men are useless or whatever, like, as literally 51% or whatever. That's the most, like, basic 14-year-old argument in the fucking world. You're trying to argue semantics right now at this point.
Are 5 billion men on this planet. She says most men, so let's say about 75% of the total population of guys. So that means 3.75 billion men have nothing to offer. It looks like this woman is gonna...
Why'd you even... Do you not even know what most... If you're gonna be doing this bit, at least do the bit. 75%... Like, if you're saying most, that's the majority, you can stop at 51%. If you're going to be a literal asshole, and I mean, like, an asshole who's being an asshole about being literal about things, at least do it. Like, come on.
Win the Guinness World Record for most dicks swallowed because she seems to know everything about these 3.75 billion guys. If guys have very little to offer, then why do you
Fine. Actually, we'll go ahead and presuppose off this. You know a lot about a dude if you suck his dick. That's That's well known. So there's mind transfer powers there. Didn't know that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not too into it. But, I mean, I guess if I need to, like, do some corporate espionage or something, that's quicker than stealing a USB drive. But, like, number one here, like, going on the whole, wow, she clearly must be the biggest dick sucker in the world. Obviously, I know that's a joke. Let's go in the joke world. She's probably pretty fucking good at it then, right? Like, hey, what's up?
Respect their money. Here we have a man that goes to work that he probably hates for 8 hours a day, maybe even longer, works 5 days a week. Some dudes work 7 days a week in this cold world, and you expect him to spend his hard-earned money on food, shelter, makeup, clothes, pretty much everything you need to survive while you sit and watch Netflix all day. And yet what he's doing is considered to be very little to offer. These people...
Okay, so I didn't actually expect that to go there. A little bit of money and paying for your entire livelihood are not the same thing. Like, they really aren't. I'm willing to bet that chick's tired of jobless dudes, which I can understand. I don't date women who don't have jobs anymore either, because it's the same thing. You want somebody who has a little bit of money, who can take care of themselves, not need to rely on you, and still you can go out and do things with them, and like not have an inability to go do things because you're out of money. Like, that's absolute. Like, I don't see the link there to, well, clearly this woman just wants a man who is going to work 7 days a week and pay for all her things, and she can't even she apparently not even that's enough to contribute enough for her. And need me attractive. Like, come on, dude. One, this isn't like the 50s or 60s. Women have economic freedom. They don't need you. They don't need you to pay for all their shit. And like, it's just really, really telling that that's what was assumed from that tweet. It's... God, you know what? I'm gonna bump this dude up another 0.25 because I forgot how, like, banal fucking anti-SJW content actually was. I can't believe this shit got popular at some point.
People don't seem to understand the value and importance of money in today's society. They make it seem like you can live a decent life without it. Matter of fact, these people don't even belong to the streets. They don't even belong to the highway. These people belong to the landfill. Have you ever been with a man? The only thing I've ever been with a man is annoyed. They might have missed putting a disclaimer because I didn't know that I was supposed to laugh. Now again, I'm not offended by this, but I have to bring it up. If I were to post a meme like this...
Oh, dude, you are definitely offended by this. Are you kidding me? It's cherry picked from your video, and I know that picture is from like fucking 20, it's 17 or 18, somewhere around there, because I remember seeing it pop around on Twitter for a while, as people complained about it. So like, you went and looked for it and cherry picked it to put it in your video. It upset you, my dude. Like, I don't know who the fuck you think you're fooling.
About women on Facebook or something, I guarantee there would be at least
a video that you started by saying that it's crazy the way they're getting. I might need to make an entire video series about it. Like, come on, dude.
100 triggered women calling me a misogynist. I don't understand how women can make these posts, which again, I don't really have a problem. It's not that bad, but as soon as a man does it, his entire life gets ruined. People are gonna start canceling him. So if we're gonna allow women to make these types of memes, then at least give guys the freedom to do the same thing. Let's keep that same energy for everyone, right?
Dudes literally do. Dudes literally do. Like, there's one of the most popular jokes that carried shitty comedians for years was just talking about how much you hate your wife, dude. What are you talking about?
Start saying male journalist and male comedian and male engineer so people start to hear how fucking stupid it sounds. Does anybody actually care? Honestly, go ahead and do it. I really don't think any guy is gonna say anything because we realize that there are more important...
Bro, it's not about offending you. Oh my god. And that's another thing with, like, a lot of these anti-SJW skeptic types is it's always assumed that that's, like, whatever's being said or done is directly related to them. And, like, the reason that you would start saying male scientist, male engineer, and stuff like that when you're writing articles to show how ridiculous it is, isn't to upset men or to like delete the word male from the English language or some shit. It's to show that it's ridiculous to say that it was a female engineer. Just say engineer. Like, it's trying to do away with the presupposition that it is something rare and therefore noteworthy that it's a female who is in this position, when that's no longer the case. Like, that's literally all this is about. Let's see him make it about him.
Things to life than getting triggered over getting called a male engineer. You can call me a male instead of man. I wouldn't even notice. Getting mad at me for calling someone a female comedian. Just grow up. Just don't even have a conversation with me. Do not even talk to me, all right? Don't engage me in a conversation. I don't want to talk to you. What kind of world do...
Oh, remember though, he's not upset. This stuff doesn't upset him, guys. He's just totally cool about it. Just don't engage with me. Don't talk to me about it. SJWs. Like, come on. It's so crazy. Like, the amount of fragility that's inside these dudes. They have to be constantly walking around just looking for the next thing to be upset at.
These people live in. Like, shift your energy on helping raise awareness on actual social problems. Don't give me this crap, all right? We're just gonna end up speaking a completely different language in 20 years. The entire English language is gonna be deemed offensive. If you're about to say some shit about...
Oh, a completely different language? Like calling scientists and comedians comedians? What are you talking about? Like, if you want to do your transphobe thing, do your transphobe thing, bro. But that's obviously what you were trying to make a reference to. I just don't see where you're getting that from calling a scientist and not specifying what gender they are. Like, you could, or like the tweet said, start going and doing the same thing with men and go male comedian, male scientist. And then it's kind of like, oh yeah, that does sound ridiculous, right? Jesus Christ. Let's just get to the end.
About human nature, but the people you've observed being violent and evil are all men, then maybe consider less what it means to be human and more what it means to be male. I see, so men bad, women good. Did I get that correct? Every woman in the entire history of this planet has done no wrong. They're all model citizens. Us men should look up to the superior gender and really learn how to be like them. Obviously, this is just an atrocious take. I can also just sit here and observe all the women who've committed horrific crimes and say that all women are therefore bad. This is just a massive logical fallacy. How about stop picking examples that fit
I fucking called it, dude. Literally every one of these, like, skeptic videos always go back to making some type of emotional argument and then going, wow, this is a logical fallacy. Like, fucking called it.
narrative of men bad, and look at all the men out there who've actually done some amazing things. Are you really gonna put the average guy who's just vibing and minding his business with some heinous criminal who's spending his life in prison? These people are literally female neckbeards. They're troglodytes. Do these people not think before they make these types of statements? Let me have a conversation with the teachers that decided it was okay to let these people graduate school and enter society. Man, if I was the principal, get back to class, all right? You're not graduating school. Let me make that very clear. Give me that diploma. I'll snatch it right out of your hands and I'll gladly put it in a blender. Siri, show me Fragile Masculinity, and it's a baseball player.
Yo. Hold on. No. Go back to that. Hold on.
They're standing on top.
That's from 2017, dude. Literally, like, fucking going and cherry picking stuff. And this was a little dumb. Like, it was this dude making a joke because, like, the female commentator was tall and he's also a tall guy, but she was wearing heels and he stood on bucket. And there was, like, a small tweet, and I think like it wasn't Salon, maybe Vanity Fair, Vanity Fair, something like that, did like a op-ed article about it being toxic or fragile masculinity, and like once it was very obvious that this was a joke, the article was retracted and no one gave a shit. This dude literally had to be sitting there going, what are some good examples I can use for Twitter? And just, like, going through his book and save files and, of course! Like, come on. There's no way you could Google this without, like... you couldn't Google fragile masculinity even baseball. Like, you couldn't do that and find this. You would have to Google the bucket, like, baseball player on bucket, something, a series, show me fragile masculinity, something pretty specific to this incident to go and get this for your video, dude. Like, but go ahead and act like you aren't upset and you haven't been letting this shit sit on your mind forever.
And it's a baseball player standing on top of a bucket. These dullards don't actually realize that he was doing this as a joke. The guy is 5'11". For the rest of the world, that's about 1.8 meters. So he's not short. He's making fun of himself for the fact that the woman he's standing next to is like twice his size, right? She's wearing 4-inch heels. This was supposed to be like a little self-own on his part. These people need a damn laugh track to play when they watch comedy movies so they can know when to laugh.
All right. Well, so if you think that's a self-own, like, it's a joke, very obviously. If you think that that's like the needing to stand on a bucket to be taller than a woman thing would be a self-own, that's kind of like kind of misogynisty. I mean, I'll be charitable. Maybe he means it's a self-own to said to, like, he was 3D chessing it, saying that he was a toxic man, and that's what the joke was. But if that's what Mr. Sniper here meant, you'd probably be very, very upset at that guy too. So, who knows?
Cave dwellers don't seem to understand jokes enough to know they themselves are one, so I can't really blame them. Now, I'm about to give y'all some bro advice. Be careful who you get into a relationship with.
Oh, shit. Oh, hold on. I really, like, this is very, very important. Where's my notepad? That's why my camera's so high. My notepad's below my fucking camera. Whoops. Well, we're gonna have to make a cut in the video, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Fucking yeah, we are. Oh boy. Sorry, guys. This will be fixed in a second. Nope. This is such a weird angle. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll have to work. Folks, George Soros and his Hollywood elites did not want us to get this elite dating advice. But I have my notepad, and I have somewhere a pencil. They will not stop us. Let us continue. Number 1. Hates women. Got it.
I see way too many guys fall into these thirst traps. They get caught in the spider web, and 9 times out of 10, it just ends up in a breakup, and they end up bitter about their ex. Honestly,
Remember what I said about him being real bitter about some girl from high school? Here we are. Like, Jesus, dude.
Best relationships I've seen are the ones where the guy and the girl end up becoming really good friends and that friendship turns into attraction or whatever. As long as you don't do 720 somersaults for her and act like a complete cuck, you won't get put in the friend zone. There are ways to finesse the system, but all I'm saying is be careful out there. You gotta do some research before you get too deep into it. So with all that being said, be sure to follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links are...
Nope. Not doing your self-promotion, bud. Like, it's honestly almost an, oh wow, that angle's so bad. Holy shit. Let's do this a bit. There we go. It's almost like the SJW content like style hasn't changed. Like, it's pretty much still the same armored skeptic community, Leafy is here kind of garbage. I mean, I was trying to think of a nice way to put it, but garbage. And I mean, it's to the point where literally it's the same memes, same pictures, and same types of arguments, like almost word for word, that are being used, like, God, 5 years later now. Like, mark my words, it's gonna be 2031, and there's going to be someone who's making a video complaining about how Anita Sarkeesian is trying to destroy the game industry. Alright, I feel like that was a decent segment. I only need to do a little bit of editing. Let's, while I cool down for a second, drink some water. Let's go through his videos a little bit, just so you can see, like, the type of shit this dude makes. It's kind of nutty. Like, when I say this is a quintessential anti-SJW channel, like, it took me a little bit of convincing up until I heard that he wasn't British, that this wasn't just Sargon. Like, I was fairly certain that this was just Thunderfoot or Sargon going for it after UKIP failed. Like, let's see. Let me swap this back over here. Like, Riley Reid must be arrested for her crimes. Female gamers are triggered and make the worst and cringiest video ever, lol. Delusional gold digger feminists, BuzzFeed feminists, crazy fat allies, a Mia Khalifa video. Like, and most of his thumbnails are... Actually, the thumbnail of the video I just did is this woman right here, which she wasn't in that video at all. Like, he literally just takes pictures of random, like, overweight women with colored hair and then makes that his thumbnail. Like that's active content. Oh, wow. His channel's only been around a year. Oh my god, he's only been around a year. He has to be like 19 or 20, dude. No way. There's absolutely no way that's not like... At oldest, I'll give him like 22, 23, maybe. Oh boy. I think about all the time. Like, I am very, very glad that I never got to make a YouTube channel or something back in the day, like back when I had these kinds of trash opinions. I didn't even have these kinds of trash opinions, to be honest. I was never really anti-SJW or anything. I was more just anti-BuzzFeed. But, like, even, I'm talking about when I was 15, 16, like, imagine if you would put all your opinions that were this level on the internet to be archived. Like, holy shit. I mean, mine wouldn't be calling random women stupid because they didn't count the exact number of men in the world. Or, sorry, that one wasn't the stupid one. That was that she was a slut because she sucked all of the penises. Because that's how she knows that all of the men are worthless, because she did that. Like, it's fucking nonsense. Like, luckily none of my opinions were ever at that level. But I'm still glad that I waited to at least be a bit more nuanced in the things that I thought. Because I could very easily be just like a fucking Chapo Trap House boy. Well, I mean, not one of the dudes on Chapo Trap House, like a fan. Like, sitting around shit posting about how, like, the left and the right are the same. There's no point at all in trying to make any distinguishable difference. No point in voting. Like, that would have been my content. That would have been what I did. And then I would have also complained about BuzzFeed articles and stuff. Like, yikes. So, I mean, like I said, I just count myself thankful that I never put myself in that position where all of this stuff would be like, no. Because, oh boy. Especially, like, I used to be an edgelord. There was, I'm sure everyone can remember that era of, I mean, not just YouTube, but, like, the world in general, where, like, saying edgy things not only was funny in the first place. Like, that's why people did it, because they thought they were getting, well, they were getting laughs, but because they were getting laughs off of it. But, did it because they, oops, sorry. I was just trying to make sure my stream was still live. But they did it because, like I said, they thought it was very funny. And society at large was still at the time laughing. So I would have been the dude who was up there, like, making edgy, like, black jokes or something. Like, I would have been doing that kind of shit without a doubt if you had made me an account 5, 6, 7 years ago. But shit, this dude made his account like a year ago. I guess it's an age difference, though. Like, has to be. I like to think that, I mean, this guy, I'll exclude him because, like, 300,000 subscriber YouTube channel, he's not changing his opinions. But, like, I like to think that if you're someone who has more left-leaning views on the world, but fall for like the anti-BuzzFeed or like anti-BuzzFeed feminist crowd thing, like, and you aren't sitting in an echo chamber where people are telling you you're great for having those and giving you money for having those opinions, that you would eventually come around to being like, oh, this is just weird, cringy shit on BuzzFeed, or it's weird, cringy shit on Kotaku or something like that. Nothing to really worry about or complain about, and kind of start progressing from there. I'd like to think that. I honestly don't know how true that is. That's what my path was. That's why I'd like to think that. And it's also, I mean, there's a hope that most people are at least kind of redeemable. Like, not, if not redeemable, like, can be a better person at the end of it. But I mean, I feel like there's a whole lot of evidence that has pushed against me on it. I'm gonna make a video at some point about like the new anti-SJW obsession with OnlyFans, because that is actually incredibly funny to me. I didn't think about it when OnlyFans started. Like, I just saw it and went, oh, cool. Porn stars can be compensated for the things they're doing now, instead of just like one-time compensation at filming and shit like that. And then everyone, for some reason, I say everyone, I mean everyone in that skeptic community, got very, very upset. Like, very upset that women would dare would dare, like, sell nudes of themselves or lewds of themselves to men on OnlyFans. And, like, how dare these cuck men want to pay $5 a month, or what if like $5? Is it a set subscription? I honestly haven't really gone to OnlyFans. I've seen $5.99 in like screenshots before, so I assume that that's what the price is for everybody. I don't know. But like, whatever the pay point is. Oh no, I remember there being something about like, what's that actress? Hold on, let me look up the actress that ruined OnlyFans. Actress crashes OnlyFans because she like did some pump and that's not real. I don't know why I say pump and dumb, but she did some scheme, right? Yeah, Bella Thorne like made some video where you had to pay like $100, like some large amount of money, and where she claimed she would be naked and then wasn't, and that caused like some big chargeback issue or something with OnlyFans, if I remember right. So it can't be everything costing $5.99. Whatever, more research required, I guess. Like, where was I even going with that? OnlyFans. Oh, right. How dare these men be paying for this when you can just get porn for free? And that's the same argument as going like, why would you ever pay for a movie ticket when you can pirate a movie? Why would you ever buy a video game when you can pirate a game? It's the same argument. Like, you're doing piracy if you're streaming porn for free. If you're getting something for free and there's no one making ad money off of you, I mean, no one besides like the host from Pornhub making ad money off of you, then it's piracy, bro. Like, let's be real. Do you think that people are going and posting their videos onto Pornhub where they have them already on another site where you can pay for the video, but they're going to go post the full video, not a trailer or something, the full video, onto Pornhub or RedTube or whatever, what have you, for free themselves? Like, I want you to sit there and actually think about what that process would be. It'd be not like that doesn't happen. So, like, it is obviously more moral to be paying for. It's weird to be talking about morality and porn and what's more moral for it, but to pay for your porn is definitely more moral and ethical, for sure. And honestly, I think it comes down to like a lot of what a lot of women's issues comes down to. A lot of men don't want women to have another avenue of not financial stability. What am I looking for? Financial independence. There we go. Like, stability too, but financial stability and independence. Like that's what a lot of women's issues come down to. Like when you're talking about like suffrage with the right to vote, or I mean, if we move it forward to like contraception arguments around abortion, it's trying to chip away at, or I guess not chip away because there's already a hold. Trying to keep a hold on like women's autonomy. So as there's more avenues for women to become autonomous, they get fought against by the reactionary crowd more and more, and that will become the new thing that gets fought on. OnlyFans is just the new version of that because it was an immediate, actually it started with Twitch, because it was an immediate avenue for a woman who was, I mean, fairly attractive. I don't know what the like pay rate or like subscriber rate for OnlyFans people are, but it has to be enough that I saw a massive amount of people going over to that service. And like, I personally know multiple women who have OnlyFans accounts now. Like, it was an immediate way for women to not only, I mean, it's sexual liberation there too, like being willing and able to, take pictures and post them yourself. That's liberating, and make money off of it. That's a good thing. But like another avenue of making money that could be done as a side thing, and like eventually, if it goes well, become your primary source of income. And that is what reactionaries are arguing against. Like, I mean, that's just my opinion on it. I don't have any data or anything to say about that, so I could be wrong. But I feel like that's the case, honestly. I mean, you can definitely see it, like, historically. When you talk about, like, women's issues, it being about autonomy and a lot of the times financial autonomy. The only thing I just can't say for sure is the OnlyFans thing, but I feel like that's the modern day iteration of that. Let's see. Sorry, I was trying to choose what to watch next here. I got a bunch of stuff like lined up for you here. Let's do a Crowder, actually. I forgot I had Crowder in the title. Crowder fucking calling Mark Cuban a communist? Like, that's nuts. I don't even know what to say about that. Sorry, I got a bit of a sore throat, so I'm trying to like keep it lubricated. Let's see. Folks, I didn't know if you knew this, but I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. If you disagree with Steven Crowder, that immediately makes you a communist. Absolutely. Marx wrote it himself. I mean, I think I have it right here. Hold on. Let's check. Yep, I got it right here. Let's see. Yep, just see Karl Marx, the big name. Yep. Yep, right there on page 29, chapter 2, under exchange. The persons exist for another merely as representatives of Steven Crowder's will, and therefore, anyone who disagrees with him is a communist and is incredibly based. I mean, it's right there. Karl Marx said it. I'm not the arbiter of it. I'm just bringing you the information. Now, if you're wondering what the fuck I'm talking about, welcome to the channel. This is a very normal time for us. And I'm talking about is apparently Mark Cuban is now a communist, according to Steven Crowder. I mean, the last time we checked in, it was the Pope that was a communist, the leader of, like, one of the largest, like, money-making organizations in history. Communist. And now, it's Mark Cuban. Billionaire Mark Cuban, the communist. I mean, I wouldn't have thunk it, but Karl Marx said it. If you disagree with Crowder, you're a communist, and he obviously had to have. So we're gonna have to see how why we will be welcoming Comrade Cuban into our arms. But before we get too far into it, if you get to the end of the video and you enjoy the content, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel grow a ton, and I really do appreciate it. And with the shilling out of the way, let's hurt our heads for about 8 minutes. Oh, no, 5 minutes, 5.5. We moving on up in the world. Crowder decided to be like, fuck it, I don't have much to say, let's just go.
So, Mark Cuban attempted to ban the national anthem, and the NBA said they weren't going to play.
No, he didn't. Okay, wow. 5 seconds in, I had to pause that to be like, well, that's a lie. Mark Cuban didn't try to ban the national anthem in the NBA. Mark Cuban owns, what was it, the Stars? Oh, actually, hold on, let me look that up. I think it's the Stars or the Mavericks or something. Mark Cuban NBA team. I believe it's the Dallas. Yep, the Mavericks. There we go. I couldn't remember if it was the Stars or the Mavericks. Fucking Mark Cuban owns the Mavericks and was saying that there wouldn't be any more like Mavericks games. So that's like, I don't see anything particularly wrong with that. I mean, it's Libby virtual signally, let's be real, because it's just like not playing the national anthem, even though, I mean, the argument was that there's people in the community who said they felt it didn't represent them, and I mean, it's kind of hard to feel represented when it's being called the land of the free while your ancestors were enslaved, or the whole, like, no refuge could save the hireling and slave thing. Like, it's kind of hard to feel represented there. So I get the argument, but overall, it's not really that important. It's more just to Mark Cuban to get woke points, essentially. And I mean, he's a billionaire. That's obviously what he's doing. He's not doing it out of a concern for the community. But, the original point there was that, no, he wasn't banning it in the NBA. It was just, he doesn't have that kind of power. He was just stopping playing it at Mavericks games, and I think it was one game that it happened in.
It before, and I want to read the quote after, but first we're going to go to a little explanation here. So there's been a few things that have happened. Mark Cuban said we're not going to play the national anthem.
Yeah.
They didn't play the national anthem. People said, that's kind of weird. What happened? Am I in communist China? Oh, that's just where you want to market the jerseys. So people noticed it was weird, and then the NBA responded by saying,
imagine being dumb enough to be like, there wasn't a national anthem played at this sports game I'm in. Am I in communist China? Like, no. I'm willing to bet that not many people there really know. Wait. I just said there. There's no one there. There's no one that goes to these games right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic. You can't have people in Dallas fucking... Like, hold on. Let me look that up, too. Were there people even in the stands? Like, Texas sporting events reopened. Greg Abbott will be allowed at outdoor professional sporting events with limited occupancy. So, no, because it was only outdoor ones, and indoor ones have not been allowed. So, no, there was no one in the stands, so there was no one there to notice it anyway. But even if there was, have you been to a basketball game, a hockey game, a football game, anything like that before? People aren't like that. If they're at their seats, they're standing up because the camera told them to, and they stand there for a while fidget, whisper to each other, play with their hair, eat some nachos. Most of the people are going to the concession stand to buy food and a beer. Like, there's no giant deference paid to the national anthem at fucking sporting events that would make someone go, well, hold on, how am I supposed to enjoy my basketball if I don't hear someone sing the national anthem?
No, we're going to play the national anthem. And Mark Cuban, took it on the chin like a bitch. So then Jen Psaki was asked about it at a press conference.
Well, what was that? That was popped up for like half a second.
At a press
I'm going to move this back like 2 seconds. No, we'll do it 29 seconds. We're putting this at 2.25 speed. I need to see what that was.
Right. Then Jen Psaki was asked about
That's what was popped up for maybe a quarter of a second. It's just a communist Chucky doll. Wait. There's no way that, this is a picture that he found, online, is it? Somebody at his studio had to have made this, where they went and got the, what are those hats called again? Droishkas or something? Hold on. Russian hat name. Doing a lot of Googling today. I'm not very bright, apparently. Ushankas. There we go. Fucking Usanka is got a pink Usanka and a Chucky doll. And that's the bit, because she's Jennifer Fucky, you see. I just don't see why this was put up for maybe a frame or two. That's something that very easily could have been just put it at normal speed for a full 2-3 seconds as you made your joke, and went or maybe a second or a second and a half, so people could see it and then go along. Why is it even included? I'm being pedantic. Let's just go.
At a press conference from Joe Biden and answered with word spaghetti.
What does President Biden think about the Dallas Mavericks owner, Mark Cuban, deciding to indefinitely stop playing the national anthem?
Well, I haven't spoken with the president about the decision by Mark Cuban on the Dallas Mavericks, I should say the national anthem. But I know he's incredibly proud to be an American and has great respect for the anthem and all that it represents. Especially for our men and women serving in uniform around the world.
Good.
End phrase. I don't care about those stupid soldiers. My fellow, I made a video about how he was such a great man, and it's despicable the left are making fun of him. My fellow great right-wing pundit, Rush Limbaugh, would say, those are phony soldiers.
Also say that, of course, that part of pride in our country means recognizing moments where we as a country haven't lived up to our highest ideals, which is often and at times what people are speaking to when they take action at sporting events. And it means respecting the right of people granted to them in the Constitution to peacefully protest. That's why he ran for president in the first place, and that's what he's focused on doing every day.
Here's the thing there. That made no sense.
That made no sense. How does that make no sense? That was really, really simple. Our president, she said, the president respects I almost said Constitution, respects the national anthem and respects the men and women that it represents, and also understands that there are failings as our nation, and that's what a lot of peaceful protesting is about. Not playing the anthem is an act of protest. And the president also supports acts of peaceful protest, because if you don't, you're a fascist. Or at the very least an authoritative. Fascist is a little far, because there needs to be a couple more points you're hitting on it, but you're absolutely an authoritarian if you aren't going to be respecting the rights of, peacefully protesting. So yeah, that was a pretty concise answer that I think is perfectly appropriate for a president to give. What'd you want him to say? I like our national anthem a lot, And I think anyone who doesn't is a commie that needs to be shot.
Say we support the national anthem and they should play it. Just stop. You're the president of the United States. This wouldn't have been a controversial issue for anyone.
No,
this was so here's the thing. It's not. Crowder is like the only person in right-wing punditry that's even made a like complaint or video complaining about this portion of it. Like, there was some bits on, like, I think Laura Ingraham did a video, and they, excuse me. Too much water, too quick. I think Laura Ingraham did a video, and, like, it was all over about the, Mark Cuban portion of it, but no one cared about what the president's response was to it. Because why? Why would you give a shit?
Easy win.
Even
for
JFK
him.
would have been like, what? Why are all those coloreds complaining about the flag? This was the from Mark.
Oh, so that's good. It's very good to be like, yes, why are the coloreds complaining about things?
In the Dallas Mavericks, we also loudly hear the voices of those who feel that the anthem does not represent them. We feel that their voices need to be respected and heard because they have not been. Okay, listen. You guys said for a long time, the kneeling, right? They said, well, listen, it's not that I'm not proud to be American. It's that I want America to live up to our ideals. And I'm a proud American, but I'm not proud of some of our history. Now you're saying that the national anthem doesn't represent you. This is the thing. It never had anything to do with changing policy. It is.
Whoa, wait. So, like, who's what? I'm sorry, what are we talking about changing policy for? Like, this is an owner of a basketball team listening to people in the community that go to that basketball team that we're talking about a basketball game. Like, what policy decisions are you even fucking talking about, dude? Are you trying to just loop this into everything with Black Lives Matter? Because there have absolutely been like policy suggestions and changes that have been pushed and ignored. So, like,
about anti-American communists in our midst. And when I said, people say, well, isn't Mark Cuban a billionaire? He's a billionaire, but he wants to get into the Chinese market right now. That's why he wouldn't speak out against the horrible human rights abuses.
Yeah.
I think it's overused, or people say, well, if you don't like America, get the hell out, right?
But I'm about to do it. Also, I like how he's a communist because he decided that he wanted to listen to people who give him money and do what they ask so they give him more money. That's communism, guys. Like, not the results of capitalism at all. Not a capitalist making decision based on what he would think would make him more capital. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
There are plenty of things you don't necessarily have to like America.
Correct.
For example, Jen Psaki.
Gingers.
But if you say, I don't feel that the national anthem, I don't feel our national anthem represents me, so I don't want to hear it at the game, you should probably find a country, I think in this case it's perfectly appropriate, to suggest you find a country that has a national anthem you will support and go play there.
Really? So, hold on. You think it's a little bit hyperbolic to tell people you don't like this country, why don't you move to another one? Over just anything. But it's completely appropriate to tell someone to move to another country because they don't want to hear a song at a basketball game. That's appropriate. Like, you don't start. I don't even see why you started that with people are just kind of always overusing this, but he probably did that to try to distance himself a little bit from it. But absolutely, that's a crazy hyperbolic use of that. Like, are you kidding me? Somebody should go to another country, which is super easy to do, by the way. Crazy easy to just legally immigrate to a country. But somebody should go ahead and do that because they disagree with you on whether or not that the national anthem is inclusive of them. Okay. That's completely reasonable.
Good luck.
Yes.
I love this. Texas wasted no time, by the way. The governor came out, and I think the lieutenant governor came out, and they actually are putting forward legislation saying, look, if you're getting state funding and it's a major sporting event, you are playing the national anthem. It's going to be made into a law potentially, right?
Yeah.
And the Dallas Stars tweeted out right after that, like, we're playing the national anthem before every single one of our games. Come watch us.
Half the players in the NHL are Russian.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, it's a nice anthem.
You Americans hate your homeland. I respect my homeland, and we don't even have lowest jeans.
This is a great example of how ignorant Americans. I mean, Crowder's Canadian, but we'll go with Americans because he acts like an American and lives in America now, so he's been American. But like the fundamental misunderstandings that Americans have with like how other countries operate, and especially like how they operate in terms of national anthems being played and like flag deference being given. Do you know how fucking weird it would be for a country's flag to be on every gas station, every park, every like corner store, fucking everywhere, if you're in anywhere besides America? Literally there's not many other. I think like China's one of the places that's big on it. I think it's like Vietnam is pretty big on that too. And God, I can't remember the other country. There's a couple other countries that I remember, like when I did a bit of reading on this, like that were examples that were pretty like close to American style about it. But the vast majority of the world would see this as culty as shit. And as far as a national anthem goes, like national anthems really only get played for other countries at like the Olympics and inaugurations, big government events, and that kind of thing. Not sporting events. Like, America's one of the only places that does this shit too. And especially does it before sporting events, but doesn't play it before like the addresses to the nation or like inaugurations or anything. No, we're gonna play Bruce Springsteen. Like
I have to fight bear for toilet paper, and still if I hear national anthem, well...
Yeah, so sorry, where I was getting with that is that like the Russian dude wouldn't be surprised that or wouldn't even care that there's some Americans who don't want to stand and do the anthem, or like think that the anthem isn't inclusive and thinks they hate their country. Like, such fucking nonsense. The vast majority of the world thinks that we are weird for the shit we do at our sporting events. We got, like, just to be clear, I'm not saying it's wrong or right to do it, but don't think that you're the normal one here.
I'm on toilet seat. I piss all over the floor. I have to stand up. What is wrong with you? They don't give a rat's ass. Here's the thing. You guys, right, black Americans, and you weren't conservative so much until I kind of brought you out of the closet. I apologize for that. But you guys are doing well. Yeah. But do you, even when you were
working out for you,
even when you were not conservatives, would you have related to black people who said, "Oh, national anthem, I don't feel like it represents me"?
No.
They call themselves the conservative twins. Like, you didn't out shit their entire brand is being conservative and black. What the fuck are you
Never felt that way.
I don't feel like most black Americans feel that way. Every black American I talk with, they go, "Oh, America's flawed, has its mistakes, but it's the greatest country in the world."
Yeah, but there's a subset culture.
Okay, well, one, it's not the greatest country in the world. American exceptionalism needs to die. You can accept that America is a good country and a great country, but not the greatest country in the world. There's a bunch of freezing to death people that might have something to say about that currently. Just saying. But like, to the second part of that, like, it's not about America being a great country, and that's why or not being a great country, and that's why those people felt that the national anthem was non-inclusive. Once again, a song that was written before slaves were freed that has the words "in the land of the free" in it, it's kind of fucked up, And on top of that, there's literally a line that's no refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight and the gloom of the grave. Like, it's not very inclusive of Black Americans because we weren't thought of as people when it was written. And this wasn't by the way, that's the Star Spangled Banner. The reason it's called the national anthem now is because it was made the national anthem like hundreds of years later. It's all just virtue signally bullshit.
Then the black community gets all the TV time.
Yeah,
like
Hollywood.
Yeah, majority of black.
Like these dudes who are arguing about like the sanctity of the national anthem and stuff, I guarantee you think that the national anthem has been the national anthem since 1776.
Black people don't feel that way.
No.
But a majority of black people feel they're leery of speaking out.
Right.
For retaliation as well.
Yeah, it really is one of those. How does that help Black Americans by just shutting? What you do is you create a wider divide, which is of course what they did prior to the impeachment, and then they want to blame people for reacting to this wider divide. America is flawed, but certainly not as flawed as China. Disney, Dallas Mavericks, NBA. Are you listening?
Yeah, go for it. Fuck the NBA. Like, for their complicity with China and like removing those people that had free Hong Kong posters and stuff. Yeah, fuck the NBA. And the NBA also went against this peaceful protest by stating that the Dallas Mavericks had to play the anthem next game. So, like, here we are. The NBA doesn't respect peaceful protest.
Ted Lieu, he's Chinese, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're flawed.
Not America. Unless you think we're giving the NBA too hard of a time.
Oh, God, he's so dumb that Crowder's smart. Like, it's really bad when Crowder's the smartest person in the room. Like, at least Steven Crowder's going, well, no, America has its flaws, but we're still the greatest. And guys, you just can't be mean about it. How dare you be mean about America's flaws while you still live in America, silly? Like, at least that's where Crowder's going with it. Instead, what we get with fucking conservative twin, I don't know which is which. I don't even know if you could distinguish which is, like, if they were very different faces, still couldn't tell you, don't know what their names are. But the conservative twins over there are like, no, America's not flawed. Those other countries are flawed. Like, if your argument for your country being great is a bunch of whataboutisms about other countries that are doing bad things, then your country's probably not all that great. You'd probably talk about things that are being done well, instead of just going, buh.
They pulled people out of games that held signs up that said "Free Hong Kong."
Right.
That was as bad as it got, and they actually kicked them out.
Right.
So it's not just like they're whoring for their money on the jersey sales; they're actively silencing free speech on American soil.
Could you imagine?
Right. That's what they did here too when they made the decision that the NBA teams had to play the national anthem before games.
If the Trump administration were treating Black Americans the way the Hong Kong protesters are being treated, they would rightfully be pissed.
They would absolutely be pissed. And I want to take Mark Cuban's argument.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you have been complaining for 8 months, 7 months, somewhere around there, that BLM is just looting and rioting like crazy, and everyone's losing their minds. Like, come on, dude. You know that the administration treated Black Lives Matter protests extremely poorly, and that's why they ended up turning violent, was because people were getting fucked up. Not as bad as like the Chinese protests, but like, if you're gonna just be going like, well, see, clearly the police committed more atrocities in this country, so the atrocities we did here is fine. Where's your moral grounding there?
To the next step real quick. What is he insinuating is going to happen if people's voices aren't heard? Do you think it's going to frustrate them and maybe think, oh my gosh, our voices aren't being heard, so we have to go to the streets like they did during the summer? And I'm not saying rioting is okay, protesting fine, rioting bad, right? Just so we're on the same page.
Right.
But that's what you're implying. I don't know. Is there a similar situation right now that unfolded?
It starts with the national anthem, guys, and then we're a nation of just Gina Carano's running around, beep, beep, boop, bopping all over the place.
Right. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that Gina Carano thing even happened. Oh. It is pretty amazing how quickly, like, right-wing pundits will pick up on just nothing social issues. And by the way, that's why Mark Cuban is a communist, because he listened to someone on a social issue. But they will also pick up like absolute nothing burger social issues and then run with it like it's the biggest, oh my god, Disney canceled her for being non-woke. I mean, you know, Disney fired somebody because they were bringing negative light to the company. Different, you know, maybe a little bit of different there, but like they will immediately jump on that and make it the biggest story, the biggest cultural touchstone. Fucking Ben Shapiro hiring her to make a movie, like that becomes a new bigger story that people need to talk about and distract from any real issues, or honestly distract from the absolute like dearth of anything besides culture war bullshit that right-wing pundits have to even talk about. I mean, it's especially bad with people on YouTube and stuff like that, like your Crowders, but you can even see it like in Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham. They all play the same culture war drum. Okay. God, Crowder's dumb. There's actually a Crowder video that we'll do this not as a segment. I wanted to check it out because it popped up like right as my stream was about to go live. And I wanted to see what it was. Suge Knight Teddy. I'm sure, Suge Knight Teddy Ruxpin. I'm sure this isn't going to be exceedingly racist. I'm getting low on water here. Sorry, let me readjust a bit. My camera's all jacked up. I have a stand, but my stand broke. The one of the tripod parts of it is sitting at like a weird wobbly angle. It's not broken. I just need to tighten it a bit. But it essentially makes it wobble, so whenever my feet move and my desk, like my entire camera moves. So 'tis unfortunate. We are back to using a cardboard box for my camera. One of these days, I'll just buy I'll buy a real camera. I'm not gonna say DSLR properly, but a real camera and just just fucking mount it to my wall up there. Call it a day. But let's do a little bit of a break for it. Let's look at some Suge Knight Teddy Ruxpins.
What's wrong with little Quarter Black?
He had a rough day at school.
Whoa, did they name their son Quarter Black? I'm putting this at 0.75 or 0.5 to see.
What's wrong with little Quarter Black?
Yeah, that kid's name is Quarter Black. Okay. Great. Good stuff. Very funny, Crowder.
He had a rough day at school. He said none of the kids would talk to him.
I have an idea.
Maybe it's because his parents named him Quarter Black.
Oh boy, Suge Knight Ruxpin.
I swear to y'all, it's like this. I'm gonna beat the dog out of you. If a nigga telling you the police didn't do it, they're a punk ass. So if I asked me if I know who killed Tupac, I'm the said, hey, absolutely not.
Fucking Suge Knight, dude. This is a crazy old reference for Crowder to be making too. Like, what kids know who Suge Knight even is? Like, I mean, I honestly think that my generation is has to be the last of them. And there's only like maybe 2 generations. 3 if you're being generous. Like, if you're gonna count old people who were angry at Suge Knight. Who know who the fuck he even is, dude?
Good night, Suge Knight Ruxpin. You'll be my best friend forever.
He was hella wild, though. Like, not gonna lie, Suge Knight did have he said some crazy shit.
We're all gonna die. Nobody gonna leave here alive, and people die all the time.
Suge Knight Ruxpin, batteries, and Dr. Dre's Masters sold separately.
All right, okay. Well, hold on. The Dr. Dre's Masters joke, that was funny. That's actually pretty funny. Wow. That was less racist than I thought it would be. I'll give him credit. Like, it's just that you hear Suge Knight, Teddy Ruxpin, you're like, oh boy, there's gonna make a bunch of jokes about how, like, black people like to rap and dance or something, right? No, it was just a whole bunch of wild shit that Suge Knight definitely said. Like, he definitely said those things. Let's see. Where shall we go next? Let's see. I mean, I have some lawmakers avoiding metal detectors, and that's pretty good usually. Let's see. Well, no, that's not pretty good usually. I don't know why I said that way. I was thinking as I was going through tabs. It's a Laura Ingraham video about lawmakers avoiding metal detectors, and that's not very good usually. It usually ends in somebody shooting someone. So hopefully that will not be the case that ends up happening. Oh God, a new Sandman video. Should I do a Sandman video? Sandman makes some pretty great misogynist stuff. Once again, pretty great as in he's a garbage human being. I wonder how... I'm gonna put this on mute for a second and do a quick just scan through to see just how lewd the lewd photos he puts up are. Because this dude legit makes his videos almost impossible to react to because they're mostly just pictures of women's tits. Like, he'll be sitting there saying some fucked up stuff, like doing whole MGTOW misogynist stuff, like the whole 9 yards. But it'll just be pictures of, like, nearly naked women. So if you want your videos to not get flagged, he makes it kind of impossible. See, he's working off Patreon dollars, so he doesn't give a shit. And all of his fan base is, like, religious, so they're going to go find his stuff anyway. I need people to be able to find my videos in YouTube recommended. So having them full of tits usually does not help. Yep, nope. That is mostly porn. Cool. There are always new pictures of what, like, that's the thing that he has to spend so long looking for different pictures of scantily clad women to use as his, like, filler things for his videos. It's like, dude, like, how much of your day is spent hating women and looking at pictures of them? Okay. Let's move to... Let me update my title a little bit. Sorry. This is a boomer stream. We doing real boomer stuff here. We did the anti-SJW reactions and Crowder calling Cuban a communist. Lawmakers avoiding metal detectors. I want to give you guys one more video after that too, but I don't know what yet. Oh, I have a Dave Rubin video we can go over. Oh boy, yeah, we'll do that. Dave Rubin's the dumbest person I've ever heard fucking talk, so that should be good. What was Dave Rubin talking about again? I've kind of forgot. Oh yeah, why liberals are turning conservative. Of course. Goddamn. Okay, let me get this back over to here so you can at least look at her beautiful, beautiful face as I do this. Dave Rubin, liberals turning conservative. Update all. Bada boom, baby. Yay, yay, yay. I was going to do something else too. Shit. Oh, right. I'm going to refill my water real quick and go smoke a cigarette. I know, terrible, dirty smoker. I'm the worst. I'm going to leave you guys the treat video while we do it, though. I think that there is a majority report that is, or like a new majority report video that I haven't checked out yet. So you can see if that's any good. So everyone's at like 15. There we go. 15 minutes exactly. Okay, I'll be back in probably 10 minutes, but 15 at the most.
People in Texas, I've heard people are staying in their car to keep warm, and there had to be these emergency a messaging to let people know that you could get poisoned by doing that indoors, like in your garage or something. So please don't do this, because people don't have experience sleeping in their cars usually, for the most part, at least that this many people, and so you have this immense problem in Texas. So what are Republicans doing? Well, some Republicans are blaming renewable energy, which only accounts for something like 10% of the energy sources in Texas, instead of actually dealing with the real problem that has been confirmed to be oil and natural gas and all the other fossil fuels, which accounts for 90% of Texas's energy. But there's also a particular Texan who thought this was the perfect time to get on a flight to Cancun. And that's none other than Senator Ted Cruz, running from his home state, the people who elected him to basically represent them. And he's running away to catch some sun, and I'm assuming watch some TV, catch up on everything necessary that requires electricity while he's in Cancun. And he received a lot of blowback for it, even though he was probably on the plane when this all went down last night.
Has Ted Cruz landed yet?
That should be the thing, right? That should be the hashtag. But apparently, after literally probably more than 12 hours of silence from Ted Cruz's office, we now have this statement.
Can we just say first, we got word that he was flying back immediately by people seeing what is it, Cruz, our Cruz.
Right, with the Z missing, because apparently they only put the first three letters of your last name on the flight logs.
But yeah, Jake Sherman sleuthed that out.
Right. So knowing that he's coming back now, we have this statement from Senator Ted Cruz. This has been an infuriating week for Texans. The greatest state in the greatest country in the world has been without power. No mocking Texan people here. I'm sure your state's beautiful, but the audacity to write that as you say that in the same sentence, the greatest state as it's without power. I mean, I'm sure people would love to believe that in Texas, but I'm sure they're not feeling the love in Texas right now. We have food lines, gas lines, and people sleeping at neighbors' houses. Our homes are freezing and our lights are out. Like millions of Texans, our family lost heat and power too. Although something tells me he's not living like millions of Texans are. The statement continues. With school canceled for the week, our girls asked to take a trip with friends. Oh boy. Wanting to be a good dad. Oh, here he goes. This is what he's going with.
Sure, the dad card.
I flew down with them last night and am flying back this afternoon. My staff and I are in constant communication with state and local leaders to get to the bottom of what happened in Texas. We want our power back, our water on, and our homes warm. My team and I will continue using all of our resources to keep Texans informed and safe. I just want to get back to the thing where he's saying our girls asked to take a trip with friends.
Yes.
Just the idea that that's something normal. The idea that I have two kids. I have a son who's been home during this pandemic. Luckily, he is in a school where he was able to go physically because they were able to come to put safety measures in place that were agreeable by everyone, including the teachers. And other than a few scares here and there, so far so good. But he has spent all of last year home and a number of weeks this year home already. And I'm sure he is missing. I could assure you, actually, he's missing his friends. And he is really, he's almost 6 years old. He's, he's going crazy. I'm feeling it too. We don't get to just go on a trip with friends because our kids asked. I wish I could afford to send my kids on a trip. I also wish if I did have the luxury to be able to afford to send one of my kids on even a local trip somewhere with a group of friends, like to a state next door or something, I would have the funds to just pay for myself to take that trip, a round trip immediately there and back, just so I can accompany them there.
It's not true. That's the point. Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't the plan.
His daughters are 12 and 10 years old. You really think, and I get it, okay? So like there is an implicit privilegedness in the excuse, but that's not even what happened, Matt.
Oh, of course. I mean, if that was the case, he wouldn't be on that list of people requesting to fill in for flights that he would have bought the round trip ticket to begin with.
Yeah, he needs. You know what? Exactly right. It's so weird. Maybe he just has a really bad travel planner. I'm pretty sure old assholes use travel planners still. Why didn't your travel planner book you a flight back immediately? Why do you have to be on standby? It's so dumb. And could your wife not handle it? Could your wife not handle taking the kids down? I'm sure it's kind of maybe a Mike Pence situation where the Bible says wives are not allowed to go on planes without their husbands. That's kind of the deal because there are unmarried men and unshaven men. Oh wait, actually Cruz has a beard now. Maybe that's
Maybe Trump told him his wife couldn't handle it.
Maybe.
Oh my God. No, he wanted to drink pina coladas on the beach. That's what he would be doing right now if he hadn't gotten caught. And probably, not leaving the resort. Although, right now, I will say, if you are an asshole, a big enough asshole to go to another country during a pandemic, you should not leave your shitty resort for Americans.
Also, I bet you there's some other politicians that are actually on vacations and just didn't get caught.
Yeah, it's not about really, in my view, the vacation, to be honest. It's more just about like the timing of, the biggest crisis Texas has seen in 10 years and then taking the vacation and then lying about it. I mean, the idea that multiple days into this crisis that they're experiencing, as one of the two representatives that massive state has in the Senate, he still decided to go around and do this and thought he wouldn't get caught, right? Thought he would still be able to use his image as faux populist Ted Cruz, representative of Texas, duck hunting, rubbing mud on his face, whatever. It's just like insane to me.
Well, what would he be doing if he were back in Texas? He'd be circulating things about personal responsibility and how it's everybody's individual problem to pull themselves out of this by their bootstraps.
Guess I hope so. I unmute myself. I told you it's a boomer stream. I thought that Jay made a really good video because I did check this part out, or I checked this segment out. I think Jay makes a really good point here that specifically Ted Cruz himself wouldn't really be doing anything besides just talking about personal responsibility and blaming like green energy for it. But there's a lot that a senator could do, and I'll let them finish playing this clip out, and then we'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about like some of the stuff that you could do as a senator, and obviously could have done as a non-senator as well, because there's people in state who are doing a lot.
Like that.
People out of state too.
Really just ghoulish quote that was going around from a Republican. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I gotta find it.
Yeah, the
mayor. I'll look for that later, but first let's Jamie, if you want to just give props to your boy here.
Look at that.
Better.
Is doing it once again.
Apparently, the Houston Police Department has confirmed that Ted Cruz's staff contacted them on Wednesday afternoon in order to assist Cruz in his arrival and movements through Houston's International Airport.
Wait, when did they?
They confirmed this just an hour or two
Sorry,
ago.
guys. I need
That,
to get a little bit of
Wednesday
caffeine in me.
afternoon,
Also, I
his
haven't
staff
eaten yet today.
contacted them,
And I'm a big boy.
asking
You can
for
tell it's needed.
assistance in his arrival and movements through Houston's International Airport. So
on the date, which date that they asked for their assistance?
Yesterday afternoon.
Oh, going to Cancun, not coming.
Yes. No. Yes, going to Cancun. Yes. You know, the idea, and you know, you brought up what Beto is doing, and you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Beto, but you know, good for him. He clearly you know, his heart's there, and he clearly cares about.
At least he's doing something, right?
That's for sure. At least more than Cruz does, at the very least. But the weird thing is, and I posted this in the IM. I'm not sure if you have it, Matt. You can just play it. But I'm going to bring it up now. The weirdest thing is that Republicans are running out to defend Ted Cruz on this. Like, you know, this is bad optics at the very least. But for even the smartest guy in the room when it comes to the conservative pundits, even he feels compelled to defend Ted Cruz's honor. Here's Ben Shapiro from earlier today.
I don't know if I'd call Ben Shapiro the smartest among
Ted
pundits.
Cruz apparently is in Cancun. Now, I will admit,
although I think there is an argument to be made that Ben Shapiro is a lot smarter than the arguments that he makes, and that he's dumbing down his message for his audience. I think that there's probably a really good argument to be made for that.
Of course, it's bad optics. Whenever there's a crisis.
You probably have the 2-time speed thing on right now. Can you shut that off?
No, that's just bad.
Oh, right. Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Is in Cancun. Now, I will admit.
Actually, we won't. Sorry, we're not going to get to the end this year. I didn't realize there's still another 6 minutes on that. So the whole Ted Cruz not giving a shit about people freezing to death thing. So it is very true that Ted Cruz specifically, if he hadn't gone on the trip, wouldn't have been doing much anyway besides talking about personal responsibility and deflecting blame like the rest of right-wing media is currently doing. But we're talking, because I'm specifically going to start to bring this up, because I saw this from a lot of the defenses from your Ben Shapiro's, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, people like, God, everyone on Fox, everyone on OAN, pretty much anyone with an R next to their name or ostensibly an R next to their company. When that came out and were saying the same thing of like, well, what'd you expect? For Ted Cruz to come out and clear the ice himself? Or was he going to fix the electrical grid himself with a wrench? No, that's not what anyone's saying. Like, but what you can absolutely have access to as a senator is one, a line to the president to start talking about needs for aid, a vast network of in-state resources that you can access to start trying to get people, get food out to people in areas that need it, get some clean water out to people who need it. And, well, yes, also working with ERCOT to try to see what the timeline will be and how this is going to be fixed. There's a lot, and that's not to mention just people who would have backed your campaign. You can also be contacting to try to, it'd be a good PR move for them. You can get yourself some good PR and get some people some help. There's all kinds of resources that someone at that level of power has that's not directly going to fix the storm or anything or make the electricity come back, but could definitely help people that are in his state. It is an absolute joke for people to say that that's not the case. And it's not even just a joke. It also helps build this air or visage of image. That's one. I went for visage before image. Please don't let that car alarm go off. Oh my God. Sorry, that car alarm goes off constantly. But like, it gives this image that senators, House representatives, mayors, governors, pretty much these positions of power don't actually have much that they can do. That's the image that they want to be put out, so that when somebody runs and says they're going to do all this stuff and then doesn't do any of it, their constituency will still be willing to vote for them. Because, well, what could they do? And like the keeping exactly what can be done obfuscated also helps with that a ton. Like, it's not even the fault of, because I was gonna say most Americans don't know what senators do, like, besides voting on bills. And that's not even the fault of most Americans, I think, honestly, because the education system doesn't teach you it. It's not like super. Oh no, 5 minutes, 5.5. We moving on up in the world. Crowded society. Maybe a quarter of a second, and then go along. Like, why is it even included?